What's good, YouTube? It's your boy K Spot. I'm on Twitch now. First link in the description. Check out the Discord server. It's fucking lit. Link in the description. You about to check out another Swag Cardgate video. He makes nothing but W videos, you know what I'm saying? And his videos on Naruto, like, so far every Swag Cardgate Naruto video that I've watched, I've never disagreed with this nigga, bro. Like, he knows his shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a nigga that knows my shit too, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, we about to check out this Naruto villains tier list. Let's see if we agree with what he's, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it, man. Let's get it, man.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I feel like I'm really late on making one of these tier list videos. I must have seen a couple hundred of them floating around the site already, but I don't really care. I really wanted to make one, so I went on Tier Maker, made my own template, and here we are. As you can tell, we're going to be talking about Naruto's various villains, and quick disclaimer, I'm not going to be ranking them based on power, but instead on how much I like them. Not how much I like them, like, personally, like, as a human being, but how good I think they are as characters. We're going to be going in chronological order, starting from Mizuki all the way up to Momoshiki. No Boruto exclusive villains. I know Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Shin are sort of Boruto villains, but Shin was in the last 10 chapters of the Naruto manga, and these two fellas right here were in Boruto Naruto the movie, so I think they can have a pass as well. Now, before I go any further, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you watch YouTube videos with any amount of frequency, you probably know who they are already. They're the people that let you make your own website. They're super supportive of creators like me, so I'd recommend checking them out if for no reason other than that. But anyway, I'll talk more about them after we have this whole list put together. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. So Mizuki's not like great, but he certainly isn't awful. I don't know if I feel comfortable putting him as high as C. But I mean, I don't think he's bad, so I don't want to put him in D, and certainly not F. He's just like okay. Now I don't really know why I included the Demon Brothers, but they're all right as well. I definitely don't know why I put them like separately. Like it's not like I'm gonna rank one higher than the other or whatever. But Geto is either a D or an F. It's because you'd expect this like all-powerful crime boss to have more of a presence than he did, but like we just see him a couple times sitting.
Oh, for real? Wait. I'll do like this.
Around in his office, and then he dies at the end of the Land of Waves arc, and there are no repercussions for that. Nobody comes after Team 7 for playing a role in Geto's death. He just dies, and that's the end of him. Now, Zabuza and Haku are both probably A tier. They're pretty good. I might come back to it later, but for now, I'm gonna leave them up here. These fellas are
Oh, that dude's...
They're kind of lame. They were basically like filler characters, and they were just henchmen for Orochimaru, so I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have expected very much from them. Maybe they can go on like C or D, but
you can put them like D.
So Kin especially is just like discount Tayuya, right? Like her whole thing is that she uses a musical instrument to perform genjutsu on people. And Tayuya does the same thing, except it's way cooler. And then Zaku's just like, he can like blast people with sound waves or whatever, and I guess that's kind of cool, but Dosu can also sort of do the same thing, but, Dosu actually has a neat personality. So, speaking of him, B. I think he is at least B, maybe A. Granted, I know a lot of people are going to be like, why are you putting Dosu this high, dude? And, I know.
You can't put this motherfucker with Zabuza. Nah, hell nah, for that, nope.
No, he doesn't have a major impact on the series at all, right? So this might be a bit generous, but I think he's super underrated. So yeah, for now, I'm gonna leave him at A. I might come back and change a few of these later on, but I'm pretty happy with this right now. This guy, oof. I almost feel bad putting these two in the same tier as Oboro, and I'm about to explain why. So, Oboro sucks, not because he as a character is bad, but because he brings the Chunin exams, or the Forest of Death portion of the Chunin exams to a grinding halt. Like, his fight with Team 7 is so boring. It's worse than Sakura versus Ino, to be honest. And since I don't really remember much about him aside from the fact that he participated in like the lamest fight ever, he's getting stuck in F tier, and I don't feel even a little bit bad about it. Now Gaara, so as a character, I think Gaara is S worthy, but as a villain, I don't know if I'd put him that high.
No,
his whole unhinged psycho thing is neat, and I mean there are a lot of characters, not just in Naruto, but in fiction in general, who have a similar thing going on. But I feel like Gaara's whole shtick was pretty distinct. And I think he was also a pretty great foil to Naruto, so I might put him in S, but for right now, I'm going to stick him in A. I might move him up a little bit, but as a villain, I don't know if he was, like, revolutionary enough for me to stick him all the way up here, but I don't know. He's at least an A. He's definitely not B. Kabuto, I'm fine with putting in B. I know I put him in, like, my 5 least favorite characters ever video, but my opinions have changed.
Oh, he has a different version
of Kabuto. That's a few years old now, actually, I'm pretty sure. And, I mean,
see,
Kabuto's annoying, right? But he does his job as a bad guy well enough, so yeah, you know, I'm fine with putting him in B. He's certainly better than these fellas, but I don't think he's as good as any of these guys up here. Orochimaru, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, S tier, one of the best villains in the series, without question.
This is just villains,
he had this sort of presence in part 1 that hasn't really been replicated since then. With Naruto being a shonen like it is, you know, typically you introduce one bad guy and then you just like move on to the next one in the next arc, and then you keep doing the same thing. But Orochimaru stuck around for a really long time.
I mean, he's still immortal.
And you know, granted, this wouldn't be a good thing if he was bad or if he wasn't interesting. But Orochimaru's great. Just vile, despicable. He's super powerful, really threatening. He has an understandable, solid motivation. And it's one that brings him into, like, direct conflict with our main characters. Like, every single one of the protagonists has a reason to not want Orochimaru to take Sasuke's body. Itachi, so...
as a villain...
I don't know if Itachi's an S-tier villain.
I'll say A.
He's definitely an S-tier character, but, like, as a villain, he was just like, haha, I'm evil, I killed our whole family, LOL. But... it's hard to deny that he was a great driving force for Sasuke as a character. Like Itachi and Orochimaru are solely responsible for Sasuke's descent into bad guy territory. And even when he was just this like heartless bad guy, he's just really, really cool. I think what I'm gonna do, I don't know if he's an S tier bad guy. Like I really want to say he is, but just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and make another row here.
Okay.
Make it S minus and stick Itachi in it. I might change my mind and move him up, but I'm probably gonna need S minus here later.
Put Gaara S minus.
He can chill out in here for a little while.
Nigga to
Kisame is without a doubt A tier. Now, I feel like people would like him more if he wasn't constantly living in Itachi's shadow. Because I mean, like he does have the problem of being paired up with one of the most interesting characters in the show. Now he doesn't have a substantial effect on really any of the main characters. Like Naruto barely interacts with him, Sasuke barely interacts with him. But I don't think that it would be fair to shove him in B tier. So yeah, A seems like a fine place.
I would be mad at B.
Jirobo F, worst member of the Sound 4. Kidomaru is probably like a C. Maybe a B. No, I thought he was really cool. But I don't know if I thought he was like that fight with Nechi was
B. Yes, sir. Yeah,
I guess B is fine.
Yeah.
Sakon's a B, but Tayuya is absolutely the coolest member of the Sound 4. All of her flute jutsu were fucking awesome. Her fight with Shikamaru was incredible. She has 3 of the coolest summons ever. Like, those things look fucking freaky, dude. And her genjutsu is awesome, too. I think it might be the coolest genjutsu in the show, next to maybe Tsukuyomi. Now, this goes beyond me thinking that her abilities are cool. I thought that she was an interesting character, too. Now, maybe that's not enough to warrant sticking her in A, but I really, really like Tayuya. And I like her more than these guys, and I don't want to shove these guys down in C because I like them more than these guys, so I think I'm pretty comfortable with this. Kimimaru is also probably an A, maybe a B. The reason I might consider him a B tier is because his backstory is like identical to Haku's, but his Bone Kekkei Genkai was just like undisputably a unique power, and he was also just a pretty chill dude. I might move him down. I feel like I have a lot of adjusting to do, but for now I think that this is fine. Zetsu was okay. He was just this cool little guy just lurking in the shadows. He's like the Akatsuki's recon man.
No, but
and
Zetsu,
I mean,
okay, he has the other
like he
Zetsu
wasn't
there.
bad. I wouldn't put him down here.
He's
but,
on this shit. He's on this shit.
He wasn't great, so yeah, he can stay. These guys, all right, I guess. I couldn't really tell you much about him. I know this guy could like turn invisible, or I don't even know why I put him on the list, to be honest. They're not really relevant at all, but I don't hate them.
I don't
like I
even
hate these
remember
guys, but I think that they are. Well, maybe they're C. I wouldn't call them below average. I don't know. I'll come back to them. Dater is probably a C. Like, I like him well enough.
I'd say B.
But,
B, yeah. B's
maybe
about
B
it.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not C because, I mean, like, I value uniqueness in characters quite a bit, I guess, and his personality is, like, you can't argue that he doesn't stand out from a lot of the other people here. Like, there's nobody in this whole list that's really like Deidara in terms of abilities or in terms of character, so yeah, B seems like a fair place to put him. Now, I'm being a bit biased here. I kind of want to put Sasori in S- just because I think he's really fucking cool. But I know a lot of people be like, but he doesn't really do anything. He loses to Sakura and Chio.
No, it's what
I mean, I don't know. No, fuck it. Sasori's just
put
really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain
I'm not mad
myself
at that.
to you guys.
I can't be
Fuck
mad
you.
at that.
Obito as Toby was funny. So yeah, he can go in B. Hidan, also pretty unique. He's definitely above C, but I don't think he's A tier. I know a lot of people really like him. I saw a couple people put him in S tier. I don't think he's that good. I don't even think he's like A tier, but he's all right. Kakuzu, I kind of want to put in A because he's cool, but you know, I don't know. I don't like him that much. So, Conan is A tier, I think. Same deal as with Kisame.
I'd say she's
people
more
would like her more
B,
if she didn't exist in the shadow of one of the most interesting characters in the whole series. But yeah, she just didn't have enough screen time to really flesh herself out to give her a unique identity. So I like her and I appreciate what Kishimoto is trying to do with her. But I mean, she's just there's not enough there for me to put her higher. But I like her enough to put her in A tier. Now Pain is an easy S tier pick. I don't really think anybody's gonna argue with that. Hanzo can go in C.
Hanzo C.
He's another one of those characters where I'm like, I don't really know why I put you here. He probably could have been interesting enough to be like up here.
True.
With all the lore and hype surrounding him, but he's just, I didn't find him too interesting. He was kind of cool. I kind of want to put him in B, but you know, I think C is a fair place for him.
Because
now Obito as Madara / Obito. Now I feel like unlike Pain, I really have to explain myself on this one. But he had a presence that was on par with the presence of these two, right? Like, he was really scary, and he was constantly doing stuff. Like Pain, he came into direct conflict with Naruto and the other main characters. He was charismatic, he was really interesting. And I've seen some people say that when he adopted his Madara persona, Obito started to feel like samey compared to a lot of the other characters, but I disagree with that. I don't think there's anyone else in Naruto that's quite as nihilistic as Obito is. Like, he's one of the most apathetic characters in the series. It's pretty clear for the longest time that he just does not fucking care about anything. Now, Danzo can go in A. Now, like, as a person, of course, I hate him. Everybody does, but that's the point. So I'm not gonna rank him low because of that. He was a really good obstacle for Sasuke. I think that his motivations were good. They were believable, but I don't think that he's interesting enough for me to put him up here. So yeah, A is fine for him. These guys sucked. They were lame. They were like the worst part of the war arc. Okay, maybe that's being a little bit harsh, but I didn't like them at all. Kabuto, I think he got worse.
I like these two brothers at F more than these sound motherfuckers at D. Like, ain't no way that's an L decision.
Shippuden. I guess it was kind of cool to see somebody without any Kekkei Genkai or like natural gifts waging a winning war against the planet. But I don't know, something about what made Kabuto likable enough to be in B tier just sort of got lost in translation when he became this all-powerful sage guy. So I want to put him up here, but then that would sort of defeat the purpose of having two Kabutos. I might change my mind, but this is where you
gotta switch those Kabutos.
Madara's S
S,
tier. Now, he
easy.
doesn't
No
interact with
discussion.
Naruto to the same extent as these guys do, right? And he doesn't really have the same sort of lasting impact on the series as these guys do either, because he shows up really late. But every time he is on screen, he is the most entertaining character there, and usually it's barely even a competition. Like, I didn't like the war arc very much until Madara showed up, and then even in spite of like all of the crazy shenanigans and all the plot holes and all of that, I thought that the latter half of the war arc, like everything
Did
up
Naruto
through
really
the
have
Ten
any plot
Tails
holes?
and Jubito and Sage Madara, I thought all of that was really,
People be saying, like,
I was
Naruto had
really
plot
into
holes.
all of it
What plot
because of the
holes?
presence of Madara and
I
Obito.
watched it from
If
beginning
not
to
for these
end,
two,
bruh.
the war arc would have.
If you can tell
it
me
would have been
any
bad
plot
like the
holes,
whole way through, and
let
so
me
even
know.
though I've seen some good arguments for like just because you really like him, he shouldn't be
Put that nigga
up
S.
that high. I think that he deserves a spot in S tier. The
100%.
Tails, whatever, I guess. Another character that I'm like,
Tails.
why did I put you in the tier list
yeah.
to begin with? I guess the Tails was like scary, but that's really it. It didn't have a character. It was just like a mindless monster. So now
Yeah.
Indra, I really like the idea of Indra, right? And I wish that we had learned more about
Oh,
him because he
Indra.
could have been up here.
Yeah.
But as
Maybe-
things
maybe
are, because
A,
we don't know
S
anything about
minus.
him and everything about him is up to interpretation, he's either B or A. I see a lot of people in their tier list putting him like down here, and I don't think
Nah.
he's that bad. I think the idea of Indra is a really cool, and he's responsible for a lot of like really important behind the scenes stuff in the series. So I think A is a fair place for him.
S
Black
minus.
Setsu was really cool before he stabbed Madara in the back and just became like Kaguya's
That nigga was
mama's boy.
plotting for a
I
minute.
want to put him down here for memes, but you know, he was interesting enough, I guess, throughout the war arc that B seems like a more fair place to put him. Now, a lot of people hate Kaguya, and I've said that she ruined the end of Naruto, and I
was-
think I've sort of changed my mind about
She
that.
was,
Kaguya's not like a bad character. The
like a
issue with her is just
BOC.
that she comes out of nowhere, but like everybody else that I've been praising, she
mean-
has a unique
I mean, we
personality.
got introduced to her, though.
She's sort of like an extension of the Ten Tails, right? Like she's like a mindless monster, but that I think that that's interesting because she's just so obscenely powerful, and it makes her scary in a way that none of the other characters in the series really are. Not to say that she's scarier than like Orochimaru or Pain were at the time that they were introduced, but you know, after she showed up, I did look at the page like, okay, like how in
Hey,
the world are they
Masamune, what's
supposed to
good,
beat
bro?
this person? Now, I don't know if
Hey,
she's
Masamune
good enough
with
to
the
be
sub,
in A
yes,
tier,
sir.
but I feel like she's better than B tier.
Appreciate the
So
sub, bro.
she's definitely not C. I don't think she's like on par with like Mizuki and them, so I think I'll stick her in B.
B's fair.
Sasuke
Uh,
is tough because I don't know if he was as good of a villain as all of these
No,
guys,
nah,
but it was
nah.
impossible to ignore him when he was doing things that brought him into direct conflict with Naruto, because one of Naruto's main goals was to
Sasuke's
bring
like-
Sasuke back to the village. And I think at
there's
the
a hard-
end, when
there's
he
a hard
just went
one.
like crazy and was like, yeah, I'm gonna wipe out all 5 Kage, I'm gonna trap all the Biju, and then he challenged Naruto to a death match. Like, I've never seen a
Tell
single
someone to the future
character raise the
generations, like, let's
tension in a
go.
moment so dramatically, so quickly, as I did when Sasuke did all of that. His fight with Naruto was really good. And see, the cool thing about him is he keeps going back and forth between being aligned with the protagonist and being himself an antagonist. And I think he has solid motivation. I've talked about him plenty of times before, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but I think he had solid motivation. It's a motivation that changes, and people call him inconsistent because of that, but I just think that like he was still a kid, even at the end of Shippuden, so I think his motivation changing doesn't make him inconsistent, it just makes him a human being. We have plenty of time to watch him develop, so even though I know a lot of people are going to be mad that I put him up at S, I think that he deserves it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think all of these guys are like Toneri C, I guess. He's definitely the best written character of all these guys, but Shin is poop,
Yeah.
Kinshiki's poop, Momoshiki's poop. And yeah, I think
Momoshiki's
that's that's about it. So like I said at the beginning, today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. And if you're not familiar with them,
Alright, so that's Sweat Kage's villain tier list. I ain't gonna lie, that list was I mean, I agreed with a lot of I agreed with some of his picks, but some of his picks were like, nah. I might have to do my own villain tier list, bruh. Other than that, it was still an interesting video. Shout out to Swag Kage. It's been your boy K-Spot. I'm on Twitch now. First link in the description. Check out the Discord. Don't be a square. Join the fucking Discord server. It's fucking lit. Link in the description. And sub to the channel too.